Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Choppin' It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Hey, there were 6 games last night in the association, but before we get to the NBA, we got to talk about Major League Baseball. With Sunday kicking off the winter meetings in Washington, what a splash the New York Mets made today, re-signing their own product, Cespedes, to a 4-year, $110 million. I spoke with some people. Let me tell you, some people are delighted, and there's a very few that feel like the Mets overspent. But I can tell you, with the Mets having trouble with hitting all year, this had to be the move that they made. Their pitching seems to be secure for years to come, but they had to get this guy back in the fold. I wish this signing was last year for this 4 years, $110 million. But the fact that they got it done before Sunday, before the winter meetings start. They didn't get into a bidding war or anything like that. Now they can go into the winter meetings knowing that they got one position, which is a major position filled. And that's one less headache that they have to think about. So kudos to the Mets for getting Cespedes signed. I think that was a real good move. Now maybe they can go and concentrate on other positions that needs, such as maybe a first baseman or maybe some bullpen relief or possibly even a frontline catcher. Looks like Reyes is going to be the third baseman. Look like Cabrera is going to be the shortstop. And look like Neil Walker, he's going to sign his 1-year deal, and he's going to be the second baseman. I'm not a fan of Travis Darnard. I would like to see a better catcher there. I'm not a fan of Duda. The outfield is kind of congested. Maybe Jay Bruce can play first base. I like Granderson. I think you still keep him. He's kind of like a captain or a leader. So I say you hold on to him. Conforto, he's got to stay in the fold, but you know what? He's got to produce. He had an opportunity to secure a corner outfield this year, and he just didn't do it. He was up and down. And then Lagares, to me, he's just a fourth outfielder. But, I mean, the Mets got some options to go. But again, first base, bullpen, and catcher, they need to address going into the winter meetings on Sunday to make this position or lineup formidable. Again, Duda, give up on him. David Wright. What do you do with David Wright? I say make him the highest paid hitting instructor. At this point here, we can't rely on David Wright. He cannot give us a full season. He just can't. So, again, winter meetings kick off Sunday. So, for you baseball fans out there, this is a good time. Hot stove heating up. But on to the NBA, to the association it is. Listen, there were 6 games last night. And my, oh my, were there games to talk about. Let's talk about the defending champions, Cleveland. Did they run into a buzzsaw last night out in Milwaukee? Woo! My goodness. Hey, it was a close game in the first half, but that third quarter and that fourth quarter, forget about it. Milwaukee just came out strong. Yeah, they showed their athleticism, their quickness, their length. I mean, anything that you can think of, they did. And I find it very impressive. Giannis, I'm going to try to pronounce his last name, Antetokounmpo. Yeah, this guy here, the Greek freak, he had a monstrous game, 34 points and I think 14 rebounds. He just had a monster game. The whole team rallied behind him. John Henson swatting shots. Brogdon comes off the bench as a rookie. He's putting up double digit. It was just phenomenal. Jabari Parker looking like a young Melo. I mean, it's just, oh man, there was so much going on. But if there was one sore spot, I just have to ask, what happened to Greg Monroe's game? Woo, man, must be a Georgetown thing because Roy Hibbert fell off after 2 good seasons, and it looks like the same is happening to him. I'm looking at this team here. Greg Monroe, he should be a starter. He looks like he's regulated to the bench. He did have double-digit points, but I would expect more from him. But what a game this Milwaukee team played. Yeah, as I'm watching the game, I'm looking at it, I'm just saying, no, this is no knock on Cleveland. Even the best team has a bad night or just have one of those games where you ain't got it going on and the other team has it. Well, this was one of those nights because Milwaukee had it going on. Cleveland was struggling to get it on. I mean, it was so bad in the third quarter where Tyrone Lue just said, you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're in. All of y'all out. How often do you see that, especially from the defending champion? So kudos to Milwaukee for coming out to play. They was at home. I'm still questioning if Jason Kidd is the right guy for this job. There's a lot of talent on this team here. They have length, they have athleticism, they have height, they have shooters, they have scorers, they have some defenders. This Milwaukee team should be a much better product than what we're seeing. I'm going to have to question Jason Kidd, and I'm going to keep an eye on that. But anyway, great game by Milwaukee to go out there and handle the defending champions. Well done. Now, moving right along, what a game by Sean Kilpatrick out there in Brooklyn last night. Now, Brooklyn is 5-12. Not too much is going on, but last night they had it going on. The Clippers come to town. Double overtime. This kid puts up 38 points. Brook Lopez puts up 27 points. They offset Chris Paul's triple-double. DeAndre Jordan, he had 23 rebounds, 21 points. He had it going on. But the night belonged to Sean Kilpatrick as he scored 38 points in a double overtime win that saw Doc Rivers get ejected in the first overtime. Listen, Brooklyn, we don't talk about them too much. They're the understudy to the Knicks and really they're not a contender or anything like that. But you know what, man? On tonight, they came out. They were prepared. They had the Clippers in town. The Clippers showed them up by resting Blake Griffin. If I was a player, I wouldn't take too kind to that. That I feel that you can rest one of your superstars because that's how you think of us. Like you could just beat us without one of them. Man, I have to lace them up and pull up my shorts. That's just me. I would have to lace them up and pull up my short. I would look at it as an insult. And kudos to Brooklyn for coming out there and just playing some good ball and getting the win in double overtime. And like I said, Chris Paul, he had a triple-double, but it was offset. But my question to you guys is that not too long ago, the Clippers was sporting the best record in the NBA. But since then, they've lost 3 in a row, all on the road. All right? And now they're in third place, trailing the hot Golden State Warriors by 2.5 games. Listen. If you feel, how can I put it? The competitive spirit in you should want to play every game. The competitive spirit in you should want to play for more than just playing against the opponent, but you should want to play for the fans that come out and see you, number one. Number two, every game it's important. You may not look at it, it's one of 81 games, or it's one of 41 road games, or one of 82 games, I should say, and one of 41 road games. But this is a team that lost 2 in a row, was at the top of the West, top of the NBA. Now they go and lose their third one in a row. Now they find themselves in third place. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't get this resting thing. Maybe I'm old school, guys. I come from a different era. I feel like you should rest during the game or in the off season. Don't play for the Olympics. Don't play for this. Don't play for that. Just go home and get your rest. But I don't believe in this resting during the regular season, man. That doesn't agree with me, man. There's a poor dad out there, and I don't mean financially poor, but just a dad out there that maybe had to struggle to get 4 tickets for a family of 4 to take his kids out there, who's out there with a Blake Griffin jersey on, or maybe out there with a LeBron jersey on one game, and just to see these guys resting, and that dad might have paid dearly to get his hands on 4 tickets. It ain't like he won it in a raffle. And he gets there, and these guys don't play. Come on, tell me it's flu-like symptoms. Tell me it's flu-like symptoms. Don't just tell me it's rest. Come on, Blake Griffin is an attraction on the road, man. LeBron's an attraction. And I'm just naming these guys because they're at the top of my head. But, I mean, come on, man. I didn't see that back in the days, man. They rest during the game, meaning, let's hurry up and beat these guys. Let the bench play the most of the second half, and we just rest. That's what you do. You don't sit out a game, and there's nothing wrong with you. Come on, man. I don't see how an owner or anybody who can allow this, man. I mean, I can't see a business I can't see me going to work right now at the job that I have, and I say to my boss, "Hey, listen, I'm not gonna work as hard today, man. I just came in because I'm scheduled, but I need to sit this one out today, boss, man. I need rest." Yeah, I might get permanent rest as I get a pink slip and I don't wear a dress. Come on, man. I'm not with that. But moving right along, though. Good win for Brooklyn. Clippers, like I said, they was on the top of the West, top of the NBA, and now they're a sliding product. They got enough talent to turn it around. I'm on record right now, and I'm going to say this once again. I'm on record. If the Clippers do not make it to the NBA Finals, the Clippers that we see today will be the last of it. I believe that Blake Griffin and Chris Paul both will bolt the Staples Center for somewhere else. And I think that Blake Griffin could be headed to OKC, and I think Chris Paul will be headed to New York to play with Melo. Especially if New York makes it to the playoffs and looks very attractive. I can see that happen. So the other game I wanted to touch on tonight is San Antonio, as they lost to the Magics at home. I don't understand this, guys. And I need for you guys to walk with me on this. The Spurs are 10-0 on the road. Look like world beaters, championship contenders. 10-0 on the road, but 4-4 at home. How does that happen? And the last loss last night against the Magics, the Orlando Magics. How does that happen? I don't know. I didn't get a chance to see the game. I just happened to see the score. I don't know. I'm curious to know. How does this continue to happen? How come they're world beaters on the road, but at home they can't win? It's just been one of those NBAs that you can't put your finger on it. So many things is happening. Triple doubles is up. People are scoring high. Loser teams are scoring 110 points a game. I mean, I just don't understand anything about the NBA right now. I really don't. I don't understand anything about the NBA. And as much as I enjoy the NBA and love the NBA, I'm finding it kind of boring a little bit. Maybe because it's not the NBA that I'm used to growing up with. I don't need a high-scoring game to enjoy an NBA game. I can enjoy an 88-84 game more than I can enjoy 120 to 115. I can enjoy a 95 to 92 game, a tough, hard-nosed defense, making it difficult to score, a clutch basket coming up, a nice layup here and there, but just getting out the way and just letting people score a bunch of five players on the court with Matador defense, man. I just don't know. This is good basketball, man. It really isn't. I mean, I say it again. Right now, as we speak, Westbrook is averaging a triple-double. LeBron is flirting with a triple-double. All right? You got 3 guys hovering around 30 points a game for scoring. I'm not sure if this is cool. You got 2 teams with a trio of 20-point scorers on the squad, 20-plus point scorers on the squad. I'm not sure if I'm really, really feeling that right now. I have to be honest with you. I'm not sure if I'm really feeling that right now. All right? Still fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to stay tuned. That I'm going to do. But it's just unexplainable. But anyway, good win for Orlando on the road. But what's the answer? What's going on with that? I mean, I just don't get it. But that's San Antonio for you. It's probably the best team that always seems to play to the level of their competition the most. They can be champions, defending champion, or number one champion, or number one contender for a title, and always play to the level of their competition. I don't get it. And then the last game I want to talk about, speaking of scoring, Anthony Davis continuing his scoring ways with 41 points last night against the Lakers. As the Lakers get back, Randall still short-handed without Russell, but 41 points last night by the big fella Anthony Davis. Man, if he can only get some help. I mean, I don't know if they can pry away Rudy Gay to go over there. I don't know if they can pry away Harrison Barnes from Dallas, but they just need some help over there from the wing spot to go along with him. And this team could make a late surge to get in the playoffs. I mean, right now, I would count them out just because they don't have that second player. But if they can get their hands on one, I wouldn't be surprised what this team is capable of doing. This Anthony Davis is for real, man. He's possibly a top 10 player in this league. Maybe top 10, easily top 15. I don't really see him top 5, but if you want, I ain't gonna debate you if you say top 10. But Anthony Davis is definitely a phenomenal talent, and they put it on the Lakers last night. Again, Lakers short-handed, but they still hovering around that 8th spot. So, kudos to the Lakers. Kudos to the Lakers. And I want to touch on the NFL real quick. Thursday night game, you got Dallas and Minnesota. And what a segue to go into. I read a report yesterday that the NFL is going to think about Thursday night football in the future. And then I read another report that was pretty much absurd because, because ratings is down and football is looking to capitalize as much as possible. And then also they have 2 years remaining with CBS, I believe it is, to televise those games on Thursday night. So it's not going to go nowhere, at least for 2 seasons. But I'll say this, guys. It's not that you have to do away with Thursday night football. I just think that you need to schedule it better. And what do I mean by that is, sure, the first game of the season, to kick it off Thursday night, that's fine. But we shouldn't see it again until at least week 6, week 7, maybe the earliest week 5. And the reason why I say that is because that's when teams start to get their bye. And I'm saying to you, for player safety and maybe just better quality, instead of having a team play 3-4 days later, why don't you have 2 teams that came off the bye week to play Thursday night? Player safety is not a concern. Players are rested. and maybe we could get a better product out of it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Moving on to the college football ranks, we'll talk more about NFL starting Thursday. Moving on to the college rank. So the college playoff rankings came out, and no surprise, Alabama number 1. Ohio State holds ground at number 2. Clemson's number 3, and Washington's number 4. So there's a lot of things that's going on there. Ohio State is in the playoffs without having to win a championship game. The question is, if the number 7 Penn State knocks off the number 6 Wisconsin, do they get in? That's going to be a question. Whether Clemson or Washington win or lose, do Penn State gets in, because Penn State will be the Big Ten champion. Plus, they knocked off Ohio State. Can they get in? That's going to be a huge question mark. And how about this scenario? Suppose Clemson loses, Washington loses, and Penn State wins. Does Michigan get in along with Penn State? Could we possibly have 3 Big Ten teams and an SEC team in Alabama? Has reminiscent of the Big East back in the mid-'80s when you had Georgetown, St. John's, and Villanova in the Final Four. Could that possibly happen? I would like to see that, because I want to see the committee make a decision on what will happen. And here's another one. I know it's not going to happen. But what happens if Alabama gets upset by number 15 Florida in the SEC championship game? Does Alabama drop below number 6 and the SEC gets shut out of the playoffs? That would be interesting. That would be interesting. With a week left for championship games, we got to let it play out to see what will happen. A week from today, we'll probably be talking about what is going to happen, but that would be interesting. And before I close today, I just want to make notice of something. Stephanie Watts, who I talk about for the Lady Tar Heels, not only was she ACC Player of the Week last year, but she's also number 15 in scoring in the country. Number 15 at over 21 points a game. Man, great job there. Continued success with her and her brother that's playing for North Carolina, Pembroke. He's doing his thing over there as well. Man, great job to her brother and sister tandem that seems to be lighting it up for the state of North Carolina. Well, that's going to do it for another edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Listen, I'll see you guys at 24. Peace and blessings. Y'all have a great day.